Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to your Eclipse in Libra astrology predictions for the 12 zodiac signs. The eclipse is happening on October 2nd at around 2:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to adjust it to your time zone. But it is happening, as I said, in the sign of Libra at 10 degrees. The moon and the sun are aligning with each other, indicating new beginnings, initiations, but this eclipse is happening with the south node, which can also indicate completions. And wherever there's a completion, there's also a new beginning, a new approach that we take when it comes to the Libra things that we have in our lives. This eclipse is happening next to Mercury, which is only 1 degree away, so for a lot of us, we may receive Mercurian-related themes with this eclipse. The ruler of the eclipse, Venus, is involved in a beautiful grand water trine with Saturn and Mars, and I'm going to address the meaning of this in the 12 zodiac signs. And we also have Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune still involved together in a mini grand trine, indicating support from the giants of the galaxy when it comes to our new beginnings and initiations with this eclipse. Now, I do want to mention that I'm a Western astrologer and I follow tropical zodiac, so please keep that in mind. And without further ado, let's start with the 12 zodiac signs. Hello dear Aries, Suns, Moons and Risings. Welcome to your Eclipse in Libra astrology prediction for the 12 zodiac signs. Dear Aries, the eclipse is happening on October 2nd at around 2:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to adjust it to your time zone. But it's happening in your 7th house, and the 7th house rules your partnership, your long-term partnerships, romantic ones and also business ones. So for a lot of you Aries, this can indicate having some type of beginning by moving away from a partnership that is not serving you anymore. For a lot of you, you may have some type of completion, maybe again with a romantic or a business partner that you need to kind of detach yourself from, that is not serving you anymore, and therefore you are having a fresh new beginning that is bringing more opportunities your way. It's letting you express yourself freely and also express yourself easier. You may feel this kind of release when it comes to expressing your identity and personality in the way you are, with this eclipse happening opposite your 1st house. With the North Node also being still in your 1st house. So great opportunities for a lot of you Aries to really consolidate good partnerships that are still serving you, and kind of having some kind of ending that initiates a new beginning for a lot of you associated with your partnerships. Now, the 7th house is also the house of open enemies. So for a lot of you Aries, you may have some type of completion with an open enemy that initiates something new, a new road that you may take on together, a new direction that you may take on together. You may either go separate ways or get closer to kind of resolve some kind of issue that you have had in the past. And with this eclipse, I want to indicate that it could be a bit emotional because we have a grand trine in the signs of Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, which are all water signs. So if you need to have a conversation that is heart to heart and very close to each other, and to express something that has not been sitting well with you for a long time, then you can definitely have heart-to-heart conversations, either with this open enemy or with the romantic and business partner that I talked about earlier. This eclipse is also in conjunction to Mercury, and that's why I am putting an emphasis on communication and having those conversations that are very essential, very important for a lot of you Aries to resolve something and move towards a new direction. The 7th house is also the house of contracts, of collaborations, agreements that you have in place with different individuals, institutions, organizations, any kind of contract and agreement that you have signed and written. So for a lot of you Aries, this transit or this eclipse could indicate a fated event that gives you the opportunity to sign something, to enter some kind of agreement that brings you in a new direction, that is again fated in nature, with a South Node being here. Or it could be that this eclipse removes some kind of contract that you had in place that is not serving you anymore, that is not helping you realign yourself to your destiny. And as I've said in all of my other eclipse videos, please keep in mind that eclipses are very unpredictable in nature. They could go both ways. They could either add something into your life or remove something from your life because they are very fated. And so I can give the possibilities of these eclipses, knowing that it's happening in your 7th house and the sign of Libra and all of that. However, they are still very unpredictable. But I want to say that they really realign you with your mission and your destiny. And please do not be afraid of eclipses. They are amazing. You know, they are difficult. It's intense energy, but they very quickly realign you with your destiny and your life mission. And I'd rather have that than waste years and months into something that maybe is not good for me. So I'd rather have an eclipse that completely either removes it or adds something new into my life. So I want you to keep that in mind. Now, Aries, the 7th house, is also the house of your best friend, your twin flame. So for a lot of you, you can either take a friendship or, you know, be able to meet a twin flame during this time, or it could be that these individuals are taking a whole different direction in their lives. Maybe they're relocating somewhere else, moving far away, and you're kind of separated your ways, you know, from them. The 7th house is also the house of business. You know, if you are in the business industry, if you are in any client-based professions, if you are into banking, consulting, if you are any kind of contractor, if you have a political career, then these are all ruled by the 7th house. And I want to tell you that you can have some type of a breakthrough in your career, to where maybe you have a new authority figure, or you have new clients that are attracted to you. Or again, it could indicate the opposite way, to where clients that are not serving you anymore are going away, and now you're deciding to take on a new direction. I also want to indicate that with this eclipse, there could be fated rewards for the deeds and work you have done either in your past life or in the past years in this present life, with the South Node being here, that again are very fated in nature, but could turn out to be favorable for you, especially with the ruler of this eclipse, Venus, being in such positive aspects to Mars and also to Saturn in this grand water trine that we have in the sky. This eclipse is also with the Black Lilith. So I want to keep you cautious that there might be indications of jealousy and possessiveness, especially with a partner. It can be a romantic or a business partner that could be brought to the surface during this eclipse. Keep that in mind. You may be the one feeling like this, or the other person could be feeling like that. You know, if they're acting up, just know that there's an eclipse with the Black Moon Lilith that brings out those darker feminine feelings. And I don't want to even say feminine, because these feelings are for both masculine and feminine energy. But that's the archetype of the Black Moon Lilith. So I want you to keep in mind that, you know, please be aware of this. If you don't want to have these feelings brought up, you know, just be careful. But for others of you, it may even be time to express some kind of dissatisfaction, or you know, the darker side of something that you have not been able to speak about with this eclipse. These feelings can be brought up to the surface, and there could be also a lot of healing. Again, don't forget, we have a grand trine of water signs. So emotions can be brought up to the surface, and things can be exposed. Things that were a secret before, that weren't told before, can be exposed and can be told during this time. And this again can happen with a romantic partner, with a business partner, or with any kind of individual that you have some kind of contract and written agreement with during this transit. I also want to say that we also have that little mini grand trine between Pluto and Neptune and Uranus in the sky. that are in the signs of Capricorn, Pisces, and Taurus, that are still helping us finish up things in the areas of our lives where these signs are, which for you would be the 12th house, the 10th house, and the second house. So you still have great opportunities to make some money, increase your income, and also use your networks and your authority figures to really help you continue the good direction or the right direction that you need to be taking with this eclipse. So keep a light heart, Aries. I hope this eclipse goes really well for you. This is the last eclipse in the sign of Libra. I am happy that you are finishing up this cycle. I know eclipses in the 1st and the 7th are not that easy, but just know that this is the last one in the sign of Libra until we have the next one, which is going to be in a few years. But I wish you the best of luck. Please let me know in the comments how things are going in your life, and if you liked and resonated with this video, as always, please remember to give it a like, to subscribe, and to hit that notification button. Hello, dear Tauruses, Taurus suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Eclipse in Libra astrology prediction for the 12 zodiac signs. Dear Tauruses, the eclipse in the sign of Libra is happening on October 2nd at 2:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to adjust it to your time zone, but it's happening at 10 degrees in your 6th house. This may indicate some radical endings when it comes to any kind of sicknesses that you may have been dealing in your physical body, or this could indicate a need to address some kind of illness that may come out of nowhere, that may show up in your life. So please make sure to take care of your physical body. I do want to mention, though, that eclipses are very unpredictable in nature. They either add or remove something from our lives, but that is very fated and karmic in nature. It is absolutely fated, which means that eclipses are there to make these radical changes, to put us in a whole different direction in a very, very fast way, like very quickly. And I think this is a beautiful thing. And eclipses are intense. They are not easy, of course, but I would rather have something removed from our life that I don't want to spend time in, instead of spending months and years into something that is not going to serve me. And so that's what eclipses do. Eclipses are, again, intense, and they are not comfortable, and especially for you as a Taurus. However, they are very important so that they can either add or remove something to realign us with our true purpose and our real goal in this lifetime. And for you Tauruses, this could be happening in the health department when it comes to taking care of your physical body. Maybe there is a job for some of you Tauruses that is clashing with your physical health, and so there could be a need here to either remove the job from your life or to address this physical thing that is happening. And so there is a clash between these two things here, and giving an opportunity for your Tauruses to choose between the two. And so that's why this is fated. That's why this is given from the universe, because it could be something that is out of your control. And so there is a need to make an absolute change here. And speaking of the job, and that's why I'm mentioning jobs, this is also the house of your day-to-day work. For a lot of your Tauruses, this eclipse could bring the ending of an old job and the beginning of the new one. And I'm talking about endings because this eclipse is happening with a south node, and for beginnings because this is a new moon eclipse. So for a lot of you, again, there could be a job change, a career change, a work change. There could also be important changes at your work, to where a coworker leaves and a new one comes in, that it kind of affects you because it is happening in your 6th house. The 6th house is also the house of pets. So for some of you Tauruses, you may be getting a new pet. You may be having a pet, give birth to babies, and so you're having your number of pets increased at home. The 6th house is also the house of employees. So if you have a business, then there you could have opportunities to have new employees coming in, old ones being removed. So changes, radical and drastic changes in that department also. Now, if you are in the medical technology industry, in the armed forces, police, any kind of job that deals with duty, if you have any kind of government jobs, if you are in the healing industry, then there could be radical changes happening in this industry, at your work, at your job, that take you by surprise, that are again fading in nature, but that are realigning you with some type of new beginning. Now, for some of you Tauruses, if you have been doing the work of taking care of your physical body, taking care of your health, being nice and good to your co-workers, and doing all the good things of the sixth house, then you could really be receiving rewards with this eclipse, because again, it's happening with the south node, and where the south node is, sometimes we reap rewards from our past lifetime deeds or the things that we have done in this present life in the past, so we receive the rewards associated with it. I do want to say that this eclipse is happening in your sixth house, so it's not directly affecting you, Tauruses. Keep that in mind. However, the ruler of the eclipse is still Venus, which also rules you. And Venus is opposite from you at this moment. It is in the sign of Scorpio. However, it's creating positive trines, positive aspects to Mars and Saturn in a grand trine, grand water trine, which also is in a positive aspect to your sign. So you may feel the tension of Venus that is in the seventh house. You may have even conversations, emotional ones, I have to say, maybe with a partner. It can be a romantic partner or a business partner that you may be talking about projects that you have together, or simply have some very deep and emotional conversation to where you even talk about the goals that you have for the future, where you want to be together, if you want to be together at all or not. These could be topics that could be addressed also during this eclipse. Now, if you have been wanting to remove some kind of addiction and take on a completely different approach when it comes to your physical health, of your physical body, this eclipse could be a wonderful time to be able to do so. They do say not to set goals during the eclipse, so wait until this eclipse is over, wait for a few days, but the effects of it, if you decide to make some changes when it comes to your physical health, can be felt up to 1 year with the solar new eclipse that is happening. Now, I also want to say that if you want to make some kind of reflection and difference when it comes to the way how you deal with your coworkers, with people on a daily basis, again, this could be a great time to settle conversations in, to be able to have some long-term improved relationships with all these individuals. And again, because the ruler of the eclipse, Venus, is also your chart ruler, so you could very well be the initiator of these conversations. But Venus is in a positive aspect with Saturn, which brings a lot of maturity, being very down to earth, and also having those heart-to-heart conversations to where you're not crying and slamming things around. It's more of a down-to-earth kind of conversation, kind of emotional expression with your co-workers, with people that you deal with on a daily basis. And if you are a healer, then this could indicate wonderful opportunities to increase your reach, to increase your skill set, to be able to reach more people and have some kind of effect in their life with this beautiful grand trine that we have in the sky. Now, I also want to say that we still have Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto in a mini grand trine between the signs of Capricorn, Pisces, and your sign, in the sign of Taurus. So there's still a need here to be very original, and a lot of you Tauruses are not taking bullcrap from anybody anymore. A lot of you are deciding to be very original and to really go after what you want, and especially with Pluto now entering your 10th house, like trying to enter your 10th house, you are more decided than ever to take on the career that you want, the personality that you want to have, to kind of reinvent yourself so that you can realign yourself with the long-term dreams and goals for the future that you have for yourself. This is what I have for you, Tauruses, for this eclipse. I really hope things go really well for you. Please let me know in the comments how things are going in your life. And as always, if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to show some support, to give it a like, to subscribe, and to hit that notification button. Hello, dear Geminis, Gemini suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Eclipse in Libra astrology prediction for the 12 zodiac signs. Okay, Gemini, so the eclipse is happening on October 2nd at 2:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to adjust it to your time zone. But for you, Geminis, it's happening in your 5th house. And the 5th house deals with creativity and artistic abilities. So for a lot of you, Geminis, you may be going back to some old hobby and some old creativity skill that you used to have that you haven't done in a while now. You're deciding to have some kind of new beginning associated with it, to where you take a new approach, to where you try to develop this artistic ability that you have, or creative skill, or restarting some type of project that is your own creation that you've been wanting to do for a while now. And that is because this eclipse is a new moon eclipse. It's a new beginning, but it's still with the south node, and the south node is what we used to know really good in this lifetime, from the beginning of our life until our 30-year-old period. This is what we gathered, this is what we brought from the past lifetimes into this life. And so for a lot of you Geminis, you are deciding to take on this creative skill and ability that you used to know so well and have some type of new beginning associated with it. The 5th house is also the house of children. So if any of you Geminis has kids, then there could be something happening in their life that brings some type of new beginning for them that also affects you, and to where you kind of need to take care of one of your kids. You kind of need to be present with them and take care of them, show some support. And it could be something that really takes you by surprise, because eclipses are quite unpredictable in nature. So they're like full moons and steroids. They're very intense. We may know what area of our lives this eclipse is affecting us, but the effects of it are quite unpredictable. And so there could be a big change in the life of one of your children, Geminis. Now, the 5th house is also the house of adventure and enjoyment, entertainment, having fun. Is the house where we enjoy our life. It's the house of joy. So for a lot of you Geminis, you may be going out, spending time with friends, having fun, enjoying your life to the fullest, even meeting people that are quite fated. You could make friends that really you were friends with in past lifetimes, or you had some kind of connection with in past lifetimes, but now you're having a new beginning with them. You are reassociating with these people. You may also decide to take on a different approach when it comes to how you understand life and how you understand happiness and joy, to where you feel happy and excited about life without no actual reason, but just because you feel like it. You are grateful for the life that you have. And again, this is because the 5th house is the house of joy, of life in itself, and because this eclipse is also in a positive aspect to you Geminis. It is happening in a fellow air sign. The 5th house is also the house of romance, the house of flirting, of crushes, of first kisses. It's the house of butterflies in the stomach. So for a lot of you Geminis, you may meet somebody that is fated, that you have some kind of soul contract with during this time, and you may feel very familiar with this person. You may feel like you've known this person for centuries. Even looking at them in the eye, you feel like there is something about this person that you've known for so long, although you may just meet them with this eclipse. So the eclipse could be bringing somebody in your life that you were not expecting. And for others of you Geminis, just in the same way, this eclipse could be removing some kind of romantic partner, some kind of person that you thought you really, really liked. This eclipse could be removing that person from your life because it's not aligned with your mission anymore. Again, this eclipse is with the south node, and so there is something karmic happening here, something that is brought from past lifetimes, or even because of the past deeds that we have in this present lifetime. So again, for a lot of you Geminis, you may meet somebody that is just, oh my goodness, you can have this crazy connection with. Or the other way around too, if you've been trying to connect with somebody that is not serving you anymore, this romantic thing is not working anymore, then this eclipse could remove that person from your life. The fifth house is also the house of risk-taking, of speculation, of gambling, of investments, is the house of like adrenaline-fueled pursuits. So for a lot of you, you may have initiations here, you may have endings, you may be kind of removing yourself from a lot of risk-taking if you've been doing that too much and it's not serving you anymore. Or it could be that you'll find this awesome opportunity that you decide to put a lot of effort on and interest on. Now, the ruler of this eclipse, Venus, is going to be in the sign of Scorpio and is involved in a beautiful grand trine with Saturn in Pisces in your 10th house at 14 degrees and Mars in your 2nd house at 15 degrees. Venus is in your 6th house at 11 degrees. So we have a water grand trine. Emotions could come to surface during this eclipse, as with all other eclipses, because they are so intense. However, I feel like for a lot of us, we may be able to process these emotions correctly. And for you, Geminis, this could be associated with your bosses, with people that you make money from, or your co-workers, also people that you deal with on a daily basis. You may have some kind of heart-to-heart conversations with them to where you get to know them, and you may bring things up to the surface that you have been holding for a while now. But with the trines to Saturn, I feel like these are going to be more on the constructive way than on the more difficult way with this eclipse. And again, the ruler is Venus, and Venus is creating these beautiful aspects to Mars and Saturn. And I talked about the trine between Mars and Saturn in another video, so please make sure to listen to that one also, because I think there's some good information in there. But with the trines to these two and with Mars in the sign of Cancer, I feel like we're going to process these emotions in a very smart way, a very constructive and mature way. Now, again, I want to focus also, and I want to say that your career is at the spotlight now. There is changes in your career, changes in your public reputation, how you want to be known to the world during this eclipse also, with the ruler of the eclipse, in the sign of Scorpio. And Saturn is doing all these moves and all these changes in your 10th house. And so there is a connection here with your job. There's a connection with how much money you're making. Again, you can have a conversation with a boss about how much money you're making. You may decide to use your creativity and artistic skills to increase your personal income. You may really take your heart and put it out there in whatever creative skill and ability that you have, in whatever creative project that you want to do, to be able to increase your personal income and change the way how people view you, change your reputation, change how you're known into the world, your status, how other people see you, and kind of put a spotlight on yourself with this eclipse. I absolutely love the grand trine. This is an important mark in the sky with this eclipse, and I think for a lot of you Geminis, you're going to have some important beginnings. One last thing for your sign. The eclipse is in conjunction to Mercury. Mercury is 1 degree away, and Mercury is your chart ruler. So you can be the initiator of all these important changes that you want to make in your 5th house matters. You may want to really start these creative skills and creative abilities. You may want to change how other people see you. You may want to put your heart out there and your skill set and everything that you know into something that can turn out to be very successful, can turn out to be something that it changes the way how other people view you, but you can really use a lot of creativity. Please keep that in mind, Geminis. If you've been wanting to create something, you can use this grand water trine to tap into the source, to tap into the other dimensions, to be able to pull that creativity that you need and that information that you need so that you can bring something into existence that is going to stay with the masses, that is going to stay with people, that is going to stay with even the close circle that is around you if you don't want to go, on a grander scale. So wonderful opportunities for all of the fifth house matters. And if you do meet somebody during this time, please let me know. I'm so curious. And as always, if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello, dear Cancers, Cancer suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Eclipse in Libra astrology prediction for the 12 zodiac signs. Cancers, the eclipse is happening on October 2nd at 2:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so please make sure to adjust it to your time zone. But for you, it's happening in your 4th house. I feel like for a lot of you Cancers, this eclipse may be more on the emotional side, especially because it is happening in the 4th house of emotions. For a lot of you, you may be diving deep into your childhood and into your memories that you have in your life, trying to heal from them, trying to bring certain emotions to the surface, but again, so that you can understand them and you can have some kind of detachment from them. You can have some kind of ending when it comes to just accepting the way how things were before and having a new future for yourself, a new beginning with yourself. And again, the effects of this eclipse may not be exactly on the day of. They can be felt up to 1 year with a solar eclipse. So keep that in mind. It could be an emotional time, but it is really helping you to understand your inner world deeply and to kind of remove all layers of something that you don't need anymore when it comes to your emotional world. And another reason why I say that is because the ruler of this eclipse, Venus, is going to be involved in a beautiful grand water trine between with Mars and Saturn, and Mars is sitting in the sign of Cancer, and Saturn is sitting in the sign of Pisces. So there is an understanding here of the emotional world, and I feel like this grand trine is really helping you, Cancers, to have a healthy beginning when it comes to your emotional world. Now, the 4th house is also the house of real estate, of home, of property, of home residence. So for a lot of you Cancers, you may be moving to somewhere else, to a new city, to a new house, a new apartment. You may be relocating even to a different country that is going to feel liberating for you. And again, this eclipse is happening with the South Node, so there's a need to detach from something, but it is still a new moon, so there's a need to detach from something to be able to start something afresh, to start something new. So for a lot of you Cancers, you may be processing a lot of things associated with your home residence, with your house, real estate, property, to be able to move away from it and move into something else, into a new place that is going to eventually realign more with your mission and what you're supposed to be doing in this lifetime. Now, for others of you Cancers, you may be relocating to a place that it feels very familiar to you, that you maybe have lived there in past lifetimes, and if you don't believe in that, in past lifetimes, then this can indicate a place where it feels very homey, it feels like you've been there before, even though if you haven't, but it just feels very familiar. Again, because this eclipse is happening with the South Node of things that we are familiar with. The 4th house is also the house of family traditions, of home countries, homeland, hometown, of ancestry also. So for a lot of you Cancers, there might be secrets that come out to the surface associated with your ancestors. And also there could be news, there could be important information that comes out associated with your homeland, with your home country, with your hometown. That is again very faded in nature. For some of you, you may even need to relocate somewhere else because of something that could be happening maybe in your hometown. I feel like that's very, very specific. Definitely the case for just a few of you Cancers, but it could definitely be a scenario. The 6th house is also the house of home decor, interior designing, being a realtor, being a homemaker, nursing, being a nurturer or teaching. and also from working from home. So if you're any of these industries, if you're doing any of these things, then this eclipse could bring important changes when it comes to your industry, when it comes to your work. It could bring people that are fated in nature, that come to you as clients, that come to you to collaborate with you. Or it could indicate that if you've had clients or people or individuals in your industry that are not serving you anymore, then this eclipse could just remove them from your life. And I do want to say that eclipses are very fated in nature. Please keep that in mind. And I think that they are very intense. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They are intense, but I absolutely love them because they either add something into our life in a very surprising way or they remove it. And I'm like, I'd rather have something added or removed in my life quickly like that than spending years or months into something that is not going to serve me in the long run. And that's what eclipses are there for. So, whenever you have an eclipse, an important one, such as this one happening in an angular house for you Cancers, please don't panic. Look at this as an opportunity to be realigned quickly and fast to what you're supposed to be doing during this time in your life. So very, very important. Now, as I mentioned, the ruler of the eclipse, Venus, is in the sign of Scorpio. It is involved in this grand trine with Mars in Cancer, in your first house at 15 degrees, and also with Saturn in the sign of Pisces at 14 degrees. And Venus in itself, it is in your fifth house at 11 degrees. So Venus is giving beautiful, positive aspects to you, to your first house. You may have opportunities, again, to connect with family members also, to where you have this down-to-earth and pleasant conversations, to where you can heal and fix and amend something that could have happened in the past, but doing so in a very down-to-earth way. Even if you've had built up anger, then you can release it in a very down-to-earth way, very profound way that is going to be constructive rather than destructive with this eclipse. And again, because, we have this beautiful grand trine that is a marker in the sky happening during this eclipse. You may also have important conversations with your children if you have children, especially associated with belief systems, with religion, with what direction you're taking in your life and what they are taking in their lives. So you may have these deep conversations together that are, again, very constructive, that are pleasant, that can stay in your mind and your children's mind for a very long time. Now, if you don't have any children, then this eclipse could bring opportunities to be very creative, to use the knowledge that you have so that you can reinvent yourself when it comes to your identity and your personality. Mars is going to spend a long time in your first house, so it's going to make and break a lot of things when it comes to your personality and your individuality. It's going to be retrograde and move forward until April of next year, so it's going to stay in the sign of Cancer for a long time. But during this eclipse, or during this time, you may use the knowledge that you have gained with Saturn in the ninth house, the belief system that you've built so far, to be able to reinvent yourself, to reinvent your identity, to come across with a different personality that is a very much more mature, more down to earth, and that people can understand and really look up to with this transit. I absolutely love this transit, this grand trine. I feel like that's going to soften up a lot of things for you Cancers. Now, I also do want to mention that Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are in a mini grand trine together. They're still, collaborating with each other, but between the signs of Capricorn, of Pisces, and Taurus. And they are also still helping us so that we wrap up, the Pluto in the sign of Capricorn that is going to be leaving soon for our lifetime. We're not going to see Pluto in the sign of Capricorn while we're all still alive. But I feel like we're receiving the help of the larger planets also to be able to have this initiation, this new beginning associated with this eclipse. And again, I feel like this is very important because we're not going to have eclipses in the sign of Libra in a very long time, in about 9 years, when the North Node is actually going to be in the sign of Libra. So this is, an important marker in the sky that Yes, there could be drastic changes happening, and I feel like for you Cancers, it is very important, could be a bit, emotional, and it could be very important for you because it is happening in the bottom of your chart, so in your roots, in the things that are comfortable for you, but it's going to be very fulfilling. It's going to realign you with your true purpose. Please keep that in mind, that this eclipse is really removing whatever you should not deal with anymore, and putting people, individuals, opportunities, situations, places, family members in your life that are going to be there for you to redirect you in what you're supposed to be doing this lifetime. And also Cancers, please expect also changes in your career, changes in your partnership. This eclipse is happening in an angular house again, and Mars in your first house is going to trigger all of these aspects in your life for a long time. So you may feel this extra willpower to make certain changes in your life. So expect a few shakeups, but again, that are realigning you with your true destiny. I wish you the best of luck, Cancers. Please let me know in the comments how things are going in your life. And as always, if you liked and resonated with this video, please show some support. Give it a like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button. Share it with people that you feel like are going to benefit from this. After all, I really want to just spread a good word for everybody and help in the best way I can. I wish you the best of luck, and I will see you on the next video. Hello, dear Leos, Leo suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Eclipse in Libra astrology prediction for the 12 zodiac signs. This eclipse, dear Leos, is happening on October 2nd at 2:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so please make sure to adjust it to your time zone. But for you, dear Leos, it's happening in your third house. And the third house is the house that rules our communication style. It also rules the emails, phone calls, messages we give and receive. So for a lot of you Leos, you may just receive some kind of news that is very surprising, that is very shocking, that is out of the blue and out of nowhere, but that is really fated in nature and is helping you realign yourself with the mission and the destiny that you're supposed to be doing in this lifetime, but especially during this time of your life. And although the effects of this eclipse may not be felt only on the day of, they could be felt up to 1 year with this new moon eclipse. And so there again could be some type of news, communication that comes through or that you give that is very surprising, but again, it's very, very important. And another reason for that is because Mercury is also in conjunction to this eclipse that is only 1 degree away, and Mercury in itself is a planet of communication, is a planet that rules how we talk to other people, is a planet of news. So I feel like for a lot of you Leos, you're going to receive maybe some news that you may even have been expecting, really, with the South Node here, that still takes you by surprise though. You may be thinking that you're going to receive some kind of news but not really knowing when or how, and so this could be the time where you receive something that you have been expecting. The third house is also the house of our immediate environment, is the house of neighborhoods, of short distance travel, of siblings, cousins, local networks and communities and charities. So there could be some important changes happening here, dear Leos. There could be a neighbor moving in and out or close to you. There could be a change in the life of one of your siblings that is very surprising but also fated in nature. There could also be changes in the lives of your cousins, if you're close to any of your cousins, or simply changes in the local community to where a store is opening up, they're closing, maybe the place where you do your nails or the barber shop is leaving and somebody new is coming. There could be happening a lot of changes associated with your closest environment. The third house is also the house of your thinking process. So for a lot of you Leos, you may decide to stop and finish and put an ending to some kind of thinking process that you may be doing for yourself. And I'm talking about endings because this is the South Node. So South Node tends to be something that we want to detach from. So for a lot of you, you may want to detach from a certain thinking pattern that is not serving you anymore and have a new beginning. Okay, this is a new moon eclipse, a new beginning in the way how you think and the way how you talk to yourself, and also how you talk to people around you, but especially in the way how you think, to where it can be more down to earth and more realistic, and also because Venus, the ruler of this eclipse, is creating a beautiful water trine with Saturn and with Mars. And Venus and Saturn coming together indicates being very down to earth, but also being pleasant, like understanding that you need to change the way how you think, because you want to be happy, because you want to be practical and mature and take, really down to earth steps so that you can have a healthier thinking process, to where you actually bring yourself joy instead of pain, you bring yourself happiness instead of sorrow. And so this grand trine that the ruler of the eclipse is creating is really helpful to have this initiation in your third house matters that is going to even stick with you for a while with the trine here to Saturn, the planet of time. And I've made another video with the trine from Mars in the sign of Cancer to Saturn, the sign of Pisces. So please make sure to also listen to that one. I feel like it has some great information and a very down-to-earth approach of this trine between these two planets, and how it's going to also affect you Leos. But there is a lot of emotions that could come to surface also during this eclipse, but I feel like it's going to be very down to earth. Like, we'll still want to be constructive about these emotions that could bottle up, and it can be quite dramatic. And I know you're familiar with drama as a Leo, so certain emotions can bottle up, but I feel like we're going to have that maturity to tackle them in a very profound and down to earth way. Now, the third house is also the house of journaling, is the house of marketing, the house of social media, technology, certifications, learning, is the house of learning skill sets. So for a lot of you, you may decide to go back to some kind of old skill or old certification that you've earned before in the first years of your life, and kind of re-embrace that and go back to it and use it for something in your life. Or it could indicate that you are going back to some kind of skill set that you have gained in past lifetimes, and you're using it and you are developing it to the benefit of you, to the benefit of your life. This, again, if you're in the journaling industry, marketing, short distance travel, Ubering, and also in the communication jobs, that there could be some kind of breakthrough happening with this eclipse, to maybe an authority figure is leaving, a new one comes in, or a co-worker is leaving, a new one comes in, or you decide to close on a project and start a new one. There could be changes happening here in your industry that are fated in nature and are really opportunities to realign you with your true purpose. I do want to mention that Venus is going to be in your fourth house during this eclipse, and the fourth house is the house of emotions, and Venus again is the ruler of the eclipse, so it could feel quite emotional for a lot of you Leos. However, I feel like you are going to process this eventually in a very mature way and down-to-earth way, to where you accept things that are in a certain way and decide to take on new approaches when it comes to them. Saturn is trying to build and rebuild your 8th house matters, things that are associated with fears and traumas and the darker things of life. And so use this grand trine during this eclipse to kind of release into the universe whatever is not serving you anymore when it comes to your emotional world. And also because Mars is in that 12th house of yours, that also rules these things, that rules things that are kind of hidden from other people, but it is still emotion, associated with emotions, with a water trine here, with a water grand trine. So make sure to release things that you don't want to use anymore, that you don't want to take with you anymore. especially as we move forward 2025, 2026, that we're going to have these massive changes astrologically. So we want to really finish with crap that we don't want to take with us anymore. And I feel like this eclipse is like a great way to do that. We are going to detach from something that is not serving us anymore so that we can initiate something new, have a new beginning with this new moon solar eclipse. I feel like it's going to be a great opportunity for a lot of growth. Now, one last thing before I go. We still have that mini grand trine between Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune in the signs of Capricorn, Taurus, and Pisces. That is really helping us wrap up in these areas of our lives where we, deal with, again, with emotions and practicality. And as Pluto moves forward into the sign of Aquarius, we're going to leave behind a big phase in our life, an important chapter in our life. So please, Leos, this is the message that I want to leave with you. If you want to end something in your life that is not serving you anymore, this is a great time to do so. And if you want to welcome something into your life that you feel like is realigning you with your mission, this is also a wonderful time to do so, because I know that a lot of people give a negative connotation to the South Node, but it's not that negative. Sometimes we get rewards actually from the South Node, from the past life deeds, and also things that we've done in this present life. So you could also receive some wonderful positive things with this eclipse in your third house matters, to where you are rewarded, and you also receive something pleasant that could be staying with you for a while. Again, with that grand trine and Saturn in that grand trine. But I wish you the best of luck, Leos. Please let me know in the comments how things are going for you. And if you liked and resonate with this video, as always, please remember to give it a like, to subscribe, to show some support, to share it with people that you think are going to benefit from this. I will see you on the next one. Hello, dear Virgos, Virgo suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Eclipse in Libra astrology prediction for the 12 zodiac signs. Virgos, this eclipse is happening on October 2nd at 2:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please make sure to adjust it to your time zone. But for you, it's happening in your second house. And the second house deals with your personal finances, your spending habits, your worldly wealth that you have, your bank account, your possessions, how much money you're making, your personal resources. So there is an indication of a new opportunity for a lot of you Virgos to make more money, to increase your income. There could be a sudden opportunity to have more resources, more income coming to you, to your bank account, that is also associated with maybe some kind of skill set or some type of project that you used to develop in the past, you used to do in the past, with a connection to the South Node here. Or it is coming from your past life deeds, good deeds that you've done before, and you're kind of being rewarded in this lifetime with good opportunities to increase your personal income. For others of you Virgos, this eclipse could bring the ending of some kind of resource that you have or income that you have, in a way that it also brings a new beginning. To maybe you're switching from one thing to the other. You are not doing something anymore. You're deciding to do something new that could bring more money your way, that could realign you with your mission and what you're supposed to be doing in this lifetime. And I'm talking about endings because sometimes with the South Node we detach from things, and we may be detaching from some income stream. But there's also a new beginning here because this is a new moon eclipse. So you may be detaching from something old and starting something new that is realigning you again with your destiny and what you're supposed to be doing in this lifetime. The second house is also the house of your concept of value, of your self-worth, your self-esteem, and how much self-confidence you have. There could be something happening in your lives for some of you Virgos to where you decide to love yourself more and realize that you have so many skills, you have so many spiritual abilities, and you have spiritual wealth that you understand that you are worth way more, and it kind of increases your self-confidence. It increases the way how you think of yourself. It improves the image that you have for you. And so again, there is a detachment maybe from things that made you feel insecure in the past, and an embracing of something new, of a new perspective, of a new idea, of a new identity that you want to be known with when it comes to your self-worth and self-confidence, that are ruled by the second house. The second house also rules over flowers, jewelry, sensuality, the five senses, foods and comforts. So for a lot of you Virgos, you may be receiving gifts, maybe from people that you have some kind of soul contract with. You may be again receiving these pleasant experiences from them. They kind of take you by surprise, but you may have again some kind of soul contract with these individuals that may be doing these things for you. Now, I do want to mention that the ruler of the eclipse, Venus, is going to be in the sign of Scorpio, and involved in a beautiful grand trine, a beautiful grand water trine, with Saturn in Pisces in your 7th house at 14 degrees, and Mars in your 11th house at 15 degrees. Venus in itself is in your 3rd house at 11 degrees. So there is communication here. I feel like there's even communication with bosses. There's communication with people that you want to collaborate with so that you can increase those personal finances and income. You may be even able to do some short distance trip to go to certain places so that you can have this kind of connection with some kind of maybe even partner when it comes to increasing your personal finances and your income. And Saturn in the 7th house is asking a lot of you Virgos to take a more mature approach when it comes to your partnerships with other people. I have a Virgo friend, and I've seen her on a daily basis trying to build, relationships with her coworkers. And although this is not the 6th house, the 7th house is still the relationship we have with people on one-on-one. So for a lot of you, there is opportunity here to have some kind of connection at the emotional level with individuals and people that we have in our lives that could be very productive. And that's the case for you Virgos. They can turn out to be very productive because Venus is in a positive aspect to Saturn, and so there's a need for connection here with the water grand trine. Emotional connection, but doing so in a very mature, profound, down-to-earth way, with Saturn being involved here, and Mars also. I've done a separate video on the Mars-Saturn trine specifically, so please make sure to listen to that also. I feel like there's great information there. And the exact trine between these two is happening on September 30th, so just a few days before the eclipse, and the effects of it are definitely going to be felt during the eclipse, so please make sure to listen to that one also. But again, I feel like for a lot of you Virgos, you are taking a positive approach when it comes to interacting with people in your life, with your partners, with your friends. You're using some soft communication skills here with Venus in the 3rd house. You know what to tell them. You know how to approach them. You know how to touch the better side of these people so that you can have some good initiation when it comes to your self-confidence and how you want to be known by them and accepted and respected by these people. And again, I feel like there's going to be a lot of interaction with others, with like a lot of communication during this time with this eclipse, because again, Saturn is in the 7th house of partnerships, Mars in the 11th house of friends, acquaintances, networks, people that know you, and Venus in itself, the ruler of the eclipse, is in the 3rd house of communication. So it's definitely giving you a lot of power, Virgos, to push the right buttons when it comes to interacting with other people to get what you want, to achieve something that you really want. And this can also include speaking to bosses when it comes to increasing personal income and, having shared resources, shared finances. And if you don't have a boss, like you're not working or you are your own boss, then this indicates having the right words to talk to your clients, having the right mindset and the right thoughts and thinking process and creativity so that you can do something that is going to be accepted by others, is going to be relatable to other people with this eclipse. I feel like it's going to be a good one. Now, before I say a good one, like eclipses are intense in nature. They are like full moons in steroids. They are not easy, okay? But they definitely realign us very quickly to our destiny. And like I've said to the other signs, I'd rather have something added or removed from my life quickly than having to spend years and years or months into something that's not going to serve me in the long run. So that's what eclipses do. They remove or add something that is faded in nature, but it is really helping us to realign ourselves into something that we're supposed to be doing. It basically removes the crap that we don't need. So yeah, I'd rather have it like this. And again, I don't want to sugarcoat it. Eclipses are very intense, and this one is going to feel a bit emotional too, with the ruler of the eclipse creating a water grand trine. But I feel like we might be taking more of a constructive approach to whatever is coming our way than destructive one. Again, because the ruler of the eclipse is collaborating with Mars, the planet of willpower, is collaborating with Saturn, the planet of time and maturity, and so we might have some good things happening. Now, one last thing before I go, the ruler of your chart, Mercury, is going to be in conjunction to the eclipse. Mercury is at 11 degrees, only 1 degree away, so you may definitely feel the effects of this eclipse, Virgos. You may have some important changes in your life, and especially again in your relationships department with people that you deal with on a daily basis, but that may also have an impact on you, on your personality, on your identity, who you are as a person also. This is what I have for you, Virgos, for this eclipse. Please let me know in the comments how things are going for you, and if you liked and resonated with this video, please share it with other people, give it a like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and I really hope to see you on my next one. Hello, dear Libras, Libra suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Eclipse in Libra astrology predictions. The eclipse, dear Libras, is happening on October 2nd at 2:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to adjust it to your time zone. But it is happening in your first house. You're the stars of this eclipse, Libras. And it's really affecting you in your individuality, in your personality, and how you want to be known into the world, how you want other people to see you. For a lot of you, Libras, you are cutting out things that don't serve you anymore, your old identity. You are shedding off layers and layers of things that you don't feel like they're going to serve you anymore with this eclipse, and you are embracing a new beginning in how you want to be known into the world and how you want other people to see you, and how your personality looks like, how your individuality looks like. I feel like it's going to be a very profound change in your life, Libras, and I myself am a Taurus rising, so I've gone through these eclipses in, my 1st and 7th house last year, although the North Node was actually in Taurus instead of the South Node like it's happening for you. But I know how profound and powerful these eclipses are. And so for a lot of you, your life may not look the same after this eclipse, and although the effects of it may not be felt on the day of, they can be felt up to 1 year. So keep that in mind, that you may have some profound changes that are going to set you up and realign you into changing the direction of your life and embracing something new that it serves you more in your mission and who you were supposed to be in this lifetime. The first house is also the house of your appearance, of your looks, of your style, of the clothes that you wear. Whatever people see in you is the first house. So for a lot of you, you are maybe removing clothes from your closet, from your wardrobe, changing them into a new style, embracing a new style, coming across as differently, and kind of shedding again all layers when it comes to the way how you style yourself, how you do your hair, how you wear your clothes, and changing into something new that you want to kind of reinvent when it comes to yourself. You want to bring out a different person, a different identity for other people to see and interact with. So a great time for reinvention, a great time to detach from things that are not serving you anymore. especially with the way how you identify yourself. And I talked about detaching because where the South Node is, we tend to detach from eventually. And so for a lot of you, you may be leaving behind things that you don't want to associate with, you don't want to identify with anymore, and embrace something new. And I talk about something new because this is a new moon solar eclipse. So there's definitely a new beginning here when it comes to your identity. For others of you, Libras, you may have a shift in your ego. You may have a shift to where you realize that certain things that were hurting your ego and your pride before are going to be left behind, and you are deciding to reinvent yourself, take on a different approach, and identify with other things that you feel like realign more with what your soul wants, that they realign more with who you want to be known as a person. Now, I'm talking about your identity because this eclipse is happening in your first house, but it's really affecting all areas of your life. It's also affecting your partnerships. So expect changes in your partnerships also, in your romantic and business partnerships. Expect initiations and endings that are going to really realign you with your destiny and who you are as a person. And I feel like for some of you Libras, you're also going to have changes in your home. You may change your house, you may change your place of living, you may relocate somewhere else. I know that my Libra friend is doing that. She moved from the US to Dubai, I think, just not too long ago, because the effects of the eclipse, as I said, may not be on the day off, but they're going to be around the time of the eclipse and up to 1 year after. So important changes for a lot of you Libras. Now, the first house where this eclipse is happening is also the house where we initiate things, the house where we are pioneers, we create something. So for a lot of you, you may have this new project that you want to take on in your life. You may have this important new beginning that you are deciding to do, and this project that you want to take on, that it really stems from either the things that you have done in the first part of your life, or it stems from and it comes from past lifetimes. There could be a project that you did not accomplish before that you want to accomplish now, and have some kind of new beginning associated with it. And this can be a project associated with anything, but especially with what you used to be identified with. So for example, if you were a musician when you were up to 10 years old, in this lifetime, and you left that behind for 20 years, and then this eclipse is like, well, let's go back to who I used to be identified with or as, so that I can have some type of initiation. So for some of you Libras, you may take on those piano classes again and use your musical skills to create something new, to be re-identified with something that you left behind for a long time. And again, this is just an example, but it can be associated with anything that you used to be identified with in the first part of your life in this lifetime, or what you used to be identified with in past lifetimes. Now, I do want to say that there's a lot of opportunity here for creativity. The ruler of the eclipse, Venus, is in the sign of Scorpio, and it's creating this beautiful grand water trine with Mars in the sign of Cancer and Saturn in the sign of Pisces. There is wonderful opportunities here for creativity, and a lot of you Libras are very creative, so you're definitely familiar with being creative, but now there is more facility, there is more facilitation, more easier opportunities to connect with the source and create something beautiful when it comes to your identity, when it comes to your life, when it comes to something new that you want to bring into fruition in this lifetime. And Saturn is sitting in your 6th house, Mars is sitting in your 10th house, and Venus is in your 2nd house. So for a lot of you Libras, you may be reevaluating your self-worth, as I mentioned, your self-confidence also, and how you want to be known in the eyes of other people. But this eclipse could also bring the need to reassess your financial resources, your financial income, to reassess and reevaluate your career, public reputation, and how you want to be known into the world. but also your job, your responsibilities, your employees, your co-workers. With this grand water trine, there's a need to balance out emotions and take on a very practical approach and down-to-earth approach when it comes to dealing with emotions, but also dealing with finances and career and all these demanding material things of this life. And that is especially true for you Libras, because these planets are activating your career houses, your financial houses, your reputation houses. So for a lot of you, again, there is opportunities here to make up with co-worker, with employees, to get good employees, also to bring somebody into your life that is going to facilitate your life and make things easier for you. This is also an eclipse that could highlight certain responsibilities that you have, but you may have the down-to-earth approach in taking practical and realistic steps to tackle all of these responsibilities that you may have in your life. Now again, Mars is in your 10th house of career and public reputation, and is going to spend a lot of time in your 10th house. Like a very long time, until April next year. I think Mars is going to be here, moving retrograde and moving forward again. So it's going to help you Libras reassess your public reputation, public status, how you want to be known to the world. And this eclipse is really helping you start that. Is really helping you initiate this change that you want to make into the world when it comes to your public status and how you want to be known, because the 10th house is the most visible house of the chart. And so there's a need here to reassess certain things and take on a new approach when it comes to your life. Now please, if you want to take one message out of this video, is if you want to rebuild your life in a whole new direction, this eclipse could mark the beginning of that. So please take advantage of this beautiful grand water trine that we have in the sky. We also have Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune in a mini grand trine together, assisting and helping in having this wonderful initiation in your life. And again, just like I've said to the other signs, eclipses are not easy. They are very intense, okay? Especially when they happen in an angular house, in the first house. Very intense, but I'd rather have eclipses add or remove something out of my life that is not serving me anymore than having to spend years on something that is not going to serve me in the long run. So eclipses are there to either add something or remove something from our lives that is going to change things drastically, but it makes sense in the long run. So we always have to keep the goal that we have in the long run, which is completing our soul mission in this life. So please keep that in mind, Libras. You have wonderful opportunities to remake your life in every way possible, and it can come with difficult moments and emotions coming to the surface, but also wonderful opportunities to have open doors and opportunities for something new. I wish you the best of luck. Please let me know in the comments how things are going in your life. And as always, just with any other video, please remember to show some support. If you resonated with this video, please share it with other people. Comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification button. I appreciate anything that you do for me. I really, really do. I wish you the best of luck, Libras. I will see you on the next video. Hello, dear Scorpio, Scorpio suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Eclipse in Libra astrology prediction for the 12 zodiac signs. This eclipse, dear Scorpios, is happening on October 2nd at 2:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so please make sure to adjust it to your time zone. But for you, it's happening in your 12th house. I feel like for a lot of you Scorpios, you may not feel this eclipse as much, but for others of you, there are certain things associated with the 12th house that are going to have some important breakthroughs and important changes. One of them can be associated with hidden enemies. For some of you Scorpios, you may have a hidden enemy either removed from your life or added to your life. So please make sure you are careful with these individuals. And if you happen to have a new hidden enemy added to your life. Just know that it's karmic in nature. This eclipse is happening with a south node. However, it could be a new one, because this is a new moon solar eclipse, and so there is some type of new beginning. Now, for others of you, it could indicate that a hidden enemy is like removed from your life in one way or another. They are starting a new journey on themselves. You kind of separate ways. Again, with the south node happening here, sometimes south node indicates things that we detach from, that we separate from also. And so this could indicate some hidden enemy that leaves from your life, at your workplace, also with the opposition to the 6th house of your job. It could even be a co-worker that is kind of leaving and is moving away for some of you Scorpios. Now, the 12th house is also the house of dreams and spirituality and other dimensions. So for a lot of you, you may be receiving some important realizations and revelations when it comes to other dimensions and what the universe wants you to do and what your soul wants you to do. You may have this strong connection and reconnection at the soul level when it comes to your purpose. And again, that is because the eclipse is happening with the south node. So there is a reevaluation that is happening here, either with who you thought you should be during the first part of your life, during this lifetime, or with who you wanted to be as a soul, connected to past lifetimes, with the south node being involved here. Now, I don't want to make this too abstract. Let's talk more about practical things. The 12th house is also the house of isolation. This eclipse could indicate some of you Scorpios entering isolation, to where you are even separated from family members. You maybe move to a whole different country, you travel abroad, you go to a whole new environment that you don't really know anyone, so you kind of feel isolated in itself. So there is some kind of ending, some kind of separation from other people, and a new beginning, to where you are kind of in isolation from everybody that you used to know. Or this eclipse could indicate the opposite, to where you are coming out of isolation and you are connecting with people more now. This could indicate separation from places where you felt alienated and you felt maybe a bit different and kind of isolated because you couldn't express yourself freely. You're having an ending to these environments and to these people and places, and now you're having a new beginning, to where you are realigned more with your purpose, with your soul purpose, and you can move forward with your life. You're kind of wrapping up some kind of chapter associated with 12th house matters. Now, if you are in any industry that deals with foreign lands, with import-export, with foreigners also, with people in the medical field, prisons, if you're in the industry of dealing with foreigners, like having shipments also, shipping from abroad, and connecting with people from different kinds of cultures and in distant lands. If you're in any of these industries, that you may experience some kind of breakthrough at work, in your job. You may either have new clients coming in, old ones leaving, or you may have a new boss that comes in and an old one leaving. So there's a change here. There's some kind of a breakthrough, or wrapping up and a new beginning associated with this 12th house matters. Now, the beautiful thing about this eclipse is that the ruler of it, Venus, is in your first house. So for a lot of you Scorpios, you may even be the initiator of these changes that you want to make in your life. You may be pushing forward to remove yourself from isolation, to even maybe change the way how you deal with spirituality. You may really want to take on a new direction in your life that you are attacking or tackling from the subconscious level. Okay, the 12th house is also the subconscious level. You really want to manifest something new. Okay, the 12th house is also the house of manifestation. Something new in your life, in the direction that you want to take in your life, because Venus is very important in this eclipse. Venus is in your first house, so a lot of you Scorpios, you are having the strong desire to change and rechange your life, and redirect it into something completely different and something completely new that brings you more emotional satisfaction. And I talk about emotions because Venus is creating this beautiful water trine or water grand trine with Saturn in the sign of Pisces and Mars in the sign of Cancer. So you are wanting to have this new beginning that brings you way more satisfaction in your emotional world and how you want to be living and how you want to feel good within yourself first, and then tackle the image that you want to perceive to other people with this grand trine. And what I also love about it is that Venus is creating this positive connection to Saturn, and Venus brings that magnetism, that attractiveness, especially in your individuality and who you are as a person and how you connect to others, so that you can create and invent something that could be long lasting. For some of you, you may even create relationships with people that are long lasting with this connection to Saturn, the planet of time, the planet that helps us become mature. So for a lot of you, you are taking practical steps into creating something with Saturn in the 5th house of creation that is going to be long lasting, that is going to affect you and your life for a very long time. And Mars is in the sign of Cancer in your 9th house, so you're using your belief system, you're using your foreign languages, you're using everything that you know so that you can have some type of breakthrough, you can have some type of beginning in your life. And like I said, this can feel very subtle with the eclipse in the 12th house, but however, it's pinpointing important aspects in your life, Scorpios, especially associated with your identity and your creative skills and abilities. Now, if you are the face of some kind of business that you may have, there's also breakthroughs that could be happening here. Again, there is an opportunity to tap to the source and get the right creativity that you need, and the right resources that you need to have this kind of initiation. But there has to be an ending, a separation from something that is not serving anymore for a lot of you Scorpios in the 12th house matters. So, if you have some kind of spiritual routine that's not working for you anymore, this can indicate separating from that and starting with something new, starting with something afresh. If you have some kind of relationship with foreigners and people from distant lands that is not serving you anymore, this can indicate separation from that and starting afresh, starting new with different people, with new people. And so I also want to say that eclipses are very faded in nature. They are very powerful, very intense. They're not easy, but they do realign us with our real purpose. And so this is what I love about this eclipse. Also, the good thing about it is that the ruler of the eclipse is in a beautiful big trine, and then we also have Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune still in that mini grand trine, connected together and dancing together in the sky and giving you that support that you need to have these important breakthroughs in your life. So it is great energy, but it is still an eclipse. So it is still quite intense. It is very powerful. So please keep that in mind, Scorpios. However, like I said to all the other signs, I'd rather have an eclipse that either adds or removes something very sudden from my life than like spend years and years on something that I know it's not going to serve anyway. And so I'd rather have it done quickly and fast. And I feel like you are going to agree with me on this, because you're a Scorpio and you'd rather dive deep into things and you don't mind getting hurt and restarting and reinventing yourself. And so this is a great opportunity also with this eclipse to do so. So I wish you the best of luck, Scorpios. Please let me know in the comments how things are going in your life. I really want to know. Most of the comments come from Scorpios that have a lot of difficult things happening in their lives, and I feel you. I know that. So please let me know. Keep me up to date with everything that's going on. And as always with the other videos, if you resonated with this one, please remember to show some support, to share it, to comment, to like, to subscribe, and hit that notification button so that you can hear again from me. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next video. Hello, dear Sagittarius, suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Eclipse in Libra astrology prediction. This eclipse, dear Sagittarius, is happening on October 2nd at 2:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so please make sure to adjust it to your time zone. But for you, it's happening in your 11th house. And this is the house of gains. So for a lot of you Sagittariuses, you may reap the rewards of some hard work you have done, to where you get some gains out of it, some rewards out of it, that you feel rewarded, you feel like you can use these gains to have some kind of beginning into making more gains and more profits and more rewards. And that is because this eclipse is happening with the South Node. So there is some kind of reward that comes from your deeds, things that you have done, actions that you've done, either in this life or in your past life. And there's a new beginning also, because this is a new moon solar eclipse. So there's initiation here. Something new is happening. So for a lot of you Sagittarius, again, wonderful opportunities to reap some beautiful rewards associated with the work that you've done. The 11th house is also the house of friends and acquaintances. So for some of you, you may enter groups of friends or social groups with individuals that you have some kind of soul contract with. These are people that make you feel very at home, very comfortable with the South Node in the 11th house. They may make you feel like you've known them since forever. You may feel really at home. And I remember when I had this eclipse in my 11th house 9 years ago, and I moved to a whole different country, to a whole different place, where I met so many like-minded people that I felt so fulfilled. So fulfilled. It was one of the best times in my life. So I really hope you're going to get the same thing. Of course, the sky is not completely like it used to be in my time when I had this eclipse in my 11th house. But there's definitely wonderful opportunities to connect with like-minded people that make you feel comfortable, that you feel like you're at home with, people that you may know from past lifetimes, that you don't know that you've known them before, but they make you feel so at home and so comfortable that you can understand that there might be something bigger than this in there. Now the 11th house is also a financial house, so again, you could receive financial rewards, or you can receive some kind of financial reward that you decide to be reusing to start something new or to do something new with it, with this new moon solar eclipse. The 11th house is also the house of social media. So for some of you Sagittarius, you may decide to either pull away from social media and kind of hide your pictures away from it, with the South Node there, but the new beginning, you may do something different associated with it, or you may just decide to take a whole different approach in the way how you talk to masses, how you talk to your friends, people that know you, in social media. You may have wonderful opportunities to even connect with people at a deeper level and get to know them more. And another reason that I'm saying that is because the ruler of the eclipse, Venus, is in your 12th house of people from foreign lands. And I feel like, this is the perfect combination of an eclipse in the 11th house of groups of networks and the ruler in the 12th house of, dealing with people in foreign lands and in distance. So wonderful opportunities to connect with people online that live far away with this eclipse. Now, Venus, as I said, is in the sign of Scorpio, but it's creating this beautiful water trine with Saturn in the sign of Pisces in your 4th house at 14 degrees and Mars in your 8th house at 15 degrees. Venus in itself is at 11 degrees during this eclipse. So this grand water trine is like a mark in the sky for this eclipse. So whenever we refer to the eclipse, we're also going to refer to this grand trine. So there's a need here for a lot of you Sagittarius to accept your emotions, to have some kind of emotional connection, especially with friends and acquaintances and people that know you, social media friends also, to where you feel at home, you feel comfortable, and you can express your emotional world in a very constructive way. I have a video up for the trine between Mars and Saturn that is going to be exact on September 30. So please make sure to check that out. I feel like I have some great information in there. But the trine between Mars and Saturn is, still being felt in the day of the eclipse. And it is also connecting to the ruler of the eclipse, Venus. So I feel like there's a need here to Accept emotions and address them in a very constructive way without, bursting or anything. You may also have good opportunities to reconcile with a friend that you haven't heard from in a long time, or you may also have some kind of friend or group of friends being removed from your life because they're not serving you anymore, because you need to take on a new different direction in your life. And my personal example, that's how I had it. I moved to a whole different country with completely different friends, and so I kind of separated, quote unquote, with my old friends, with my old circles, and I was thrown into this new environment where I met very like-minded people. The other thing about this grand trine is that it is happening between your 12th house and your 4th house and your 8th house. So there is a need here to address things and accept things from your life that were maybe a bit difficult to accept, especially with Mars in your 8th house. That's going to spend about 6 months in this house until April of 2025. Mars is going to make you reassess your fears, self-sabotaging patterns, your traumas, and kind of work towards them and heal from them. And so with this grand trine, we have some kind of activation of emotions that need to be brought to surface so that you can heal from them and you can understand them at the logical level, because there is a connection to Saturn. Okay, we are down to earth. For a lot of you Sagittarius, you are down to earth with this. You are taking practical steps to understand fears and self-sabotaging patterns and distance yourself from them, so that you can heal from them, so that you can become more mature when it comes to them. And another reason why I'm mentioning emotions so much is because Saturn is transiting your 4th house, which is literally your emotions. So Saturn is making a lot of you Sagittarius become cooler in your emotions and not to ride those high tides, but be more down to earth and mature and practical when it comes to them. And so this eclipse is also going to give you that opportunity to be very down to earth and heal from things that are not serving you anymore at the emotional level. And I feel like there's great opportunities here, Sagittarius, for new beginnings and also for detachment from all things that are not serving you. I do want to tell you, just like I did to the other signs, that eclipses are very unpredictable in nature. They are very intense. I don't want to sugarcoat it. They remove or add things very drastically from our lives. I remember when I moved to this foreign country, that my trip was just so shocking and chaotic. I changed multiple airports because they were closed because of fog. It was a winter, because of fog, and I was so young also, and I had to take the bus to go to this other airport, and it was in the middle of the night. It was cold and I was starving also. And I was taking the airplane from one country to another, because I had 2 stops with this ticket, and I was going to this completely new country that I'd never been in before, and I only knew 2 people, and so it was very difficult. So it was very chaotic. This is what I'm trying to say. It was scary. It flipped my life completely, forever and ever. I'm definitely not the same person as I was after that, but it turned out for the better. If I were to do it again, I would do it 1,000 times. This is how much better it turned out to be. And this eclipse was with a south node also. So that's another thing that I want to tell you, because people get scared with a south node. It's no, don't be scared, because it's realigning you to your life path. There's something in your past lifetime that you did not accomplish that you have the opportunity to accomplish now. And for me, maybe it was moving somewhere abroad. I do have Saturn in the 12th house, Placidus, not whole sign system, so I know that I'm meant to live abroad, and maybe it was something I didn't complete before, but I get the opportunity to do it in this lifetime, and I did. And I met all these wonderful people, and I really hope that you do the same thing. I'm not telling you to travel and relocate abroad. This is not what I'm trying to say. It's just that this is a wonderful opportunity to close a big chapter in your life that is not serving you anymore, and to start afresh and new with a whole different direction in your life that is going to seem chaotic in the beginning, but is going to bring you new opportunities and new people and wonderful things into your life that you probably never thought of. So just embrace the unknown. But yeah, this is what I have for you, Sagittarius. This is for this eclipse. I hope it turns out to be very good for you. Please let me know in the comments how things are going in your life. And just like with every other video, remember to show some support and to like and subscribe if you resonate with this video. I hope to see you down in the comments below. Thank you, and I wish you the best of luck. Hello, dear Capricorns, Capricorn suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Eclipse in Libra astrology prediction. Dear Capricorns, this eclipse is happening on October 2nd at around 2:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but the effects of it can be felt up to 1 year. So although these things don't happen the day of the eclipse, they could be happening up to 1 year after the eclipse. Or they might have already happened because the energy is so strong that things start to happen even before the eclipse. But for you, Capricorns, this is happening in your 10th house. And it's so important for you because, you're a Capricorn. You care about your career, your public reputation, how other people know you. You care about your work ethic, and you're a hard worker. So this eclipse could bring a completely new beginning when it comes to your career. You may be switching from one field to another, from one department to another. You may be changing jobs, changing careers, deciding to take on a whole different direction in your life. That is, very different. It's going to be quite fated in nature. This eclipse is serving as a realignment of what direction you need to be taking in your life, especially with your career. For others of you, this indicates a change of status. So maybe you might go from engaged to married, or from dating to engaged, or from unemployed to employed. You may change some kind of status that is, again, quite fated in nature, and it brings some kind of new beginning that is going to be, brand new for you, but also very important for you because this is happening in an angular house. Whatever new beginning you have in your career sector and your public status sector is going to affect your family, your real estate and home environment. It's going to affect you, your identity, who you are as a person, but also your marriage, your business partners, and all of the partnerships that you have on one-on-one with people. So this is a very, very important eclipse for a lot of you Capricorns. This can also indicate some kind of authority figure leaving from your workplace and a new one being introduced to it. That is, could be somebody that makes you feel like you've known this person for a very long time. And that is because this eclipse is with the South Node, and the South Node is things and people that we have some kind of soul contract with, that we've known for a long time and we feel very comfortable around. So again, there could be an authority figure that comes into your life that you've known maybe in past lifetimes, or even in the past, in this present time, that becomes your boss. And so you may have, changes there. And some kind of news even being announced associated with these things, with Mercury also being in conjunction to this eclipse. Mercury is only 1 degree away from the eclipse. Now, what is also very important about this is that the ruler of the eclipse, Venus, is in the sign of Scorpio and is involved in this beautiful water grand trine with Saturn. Your chart ruler, which is sitting in Pisces in your 3rd house at 14 degrees, and with Mars in your 7th house at 15 degrees. So see, when I say that you're going to have also changes in your partnerships, Venus is connecting from the 11th house, and so you may be having these gains in mind and long-term dreams and goals that you may have for the future that you want to be using to be able to have this kind of new beginning for yourself, this new beginning in your career and public reputation. And there could be a partner that helps you in these things. There could be an authority figure that helps you in these things. You could be using your skill set and your analytical abilities and realistic thinking patterns to be able to have this kind of new beginning for yourself in your career and at your job. And again, Saturn, Mars, Venus, they're all helping you with this grand trine. They are helping you use creativity and be smart and intelligent and have that willpower so that you can have this important initiation with this eclipse in your 10th house matters. So again, Venus is supporting here. The ruler of the eclipse is very supportive here. Now there could be emotions bottling up with this eclipse because there's this grand trine that is happening here, but it is in a positive way. Like, I don't want it to get a negative connotation. This could be a positive one because Saturn is here to, your chart ruler is here to bring that emotional maturity. And so if you need to have difficult conversations with a partner, with a boss, even with friends, then this could be a great time to do so, because it could have an impact in your public status and how other people know you, and also your career and public reputation. Venus connecting with Saturn is giving that maturity, emotional maturity, to be able to express yourself in a profound way, in a very down-to-earth way, to where other people can connect with you freely, and they can feel like you know your thing. They can feel like they can trust you. You can look and be very trustworthy. Now, another thing about this eclipse is that the black moon Lilith is also involved in the eclipse. That is exactly conjunct the eclipse at 10 degrees in your 10th house. So I do want to point out that there could be bosses, authority figures that express feelings of jealousy, of possessiveness, of trying to be in power, as though this eclipse could bring that into the spotlight. So it could also happen the other way around, to where if you've had a boss or a manager or an authority figure that has been super possessive and jealous and kind of tracking everything that you're doing, they could be removing that, or this individual is maybe completely leaving your life, or at least they could be hiding away these characteristics about them with this eclipse. So yeah, definitely a lot of changes with authority figures, but also in your career and public reputation. To your Capricorns, please keep in mind that Pluto and Uranus and Neptune are still on that mini grand trine in the sky, that they're giving us support to have completions in the sign of Capricorn and Pisces and Taurus, so that we can move forward, especially as we go towards 2025, 2026, when these three planets move into new signs, in Aquarius, Aries, and Gemini. So there's a wrapping up happening here, energetically wise. And with this eclipse, if you want to separate yourself from some career that's not serving you anymore, this could be a wonderful time to do so, because we're moving towards a whole new era, a whole new energy in 2025, and especially in 2026. And this eclipse could indicate an ending and separation from something that's not serving anymore, to have some kind of new beginning that could be helping us. And I say this because this is happening in an air sign, and Pluto, Neptune, Saturn, and Uranus are moving into signs that are in good aspects to this eclipse, except for Neptune and Saturn, actually, because they're moving into Aries and they're going to oppose it, but they're going to reactivate this eclipse. Okay, so that's why this is very important. If you want to have separation and endings in your career, to where you feel like it's not aligning at all with your values and who you want to become, this is a great time to separate yourself from them and start some type of new beginning in your career sector and how you want to be known to the world. Okay, this is what I have for you, Capricorns, for this eclipse. I wish you the best of luck. Please let me know in the comments how things are going for you. And if you liked or resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello, dear Aquariuses, Aquarius suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Eclipse in Libra astrology prediction. Aquariuses, the eclipse is happening on October 2nd at around 2:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to adjust it to your time zone. But for you, Aquarius, it's happening in your 9th house. at 10 degrees. This can indicate important breakthrough and changes when it comes to your higher education. Maybe for some of you Aquariuses, you are entering or you're being admitted to some university to pursue your bachelor's degree, your master's degree, to go in some place that is a bit karmic in nature, in a place that maybe you have been to before. Maybe you started this university long time ago and now you're going back to it. And for others of you, it can just indicate a place that maybe you used to be in a previous lifetime, or a place that you're supposed to meet somebody who comes from your past, or somebody that comes from past lives also. The 9th house is also the house of foreign travels, of international travels. So for a lot of you Aquariuses, if you are traveling internationally, you may run into people and individuals that are very important to you, people that you have some kind of karmic connection with, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It could be that it's somebody that you have a soul contract with that is coming back into your life, maybe after a few years in this life, or it's coming back into your life from a past lifetime. The 9th house is also the house of legal matters. So for some of you Aquariuses, you may have to complete a legal matter with the eclipse happening in the south node, and this way starting something new, something fresh, with this eclipse being a new moon eclipse. Or this can indicate a new legal matter that comes out of the blue that you have to address, you have to take care of. All your focus may be on it, especially having to look at details with the Mercury being involved here, just 1 degree away from the eclipse. The 9th house is also the house of mentors and gurus, people that advise us, people that we listen to when it comes to making decisions about our lives. And so for some of you Aquariuses, this eclipse could indicate somebody showing up into your life that may change it, may tell you and advise you things that you didn't think about before. You may consider this person as a mentor, and it could very well be that this person is somebody that you have a soul connection with. They're supposed to be into your life to redirect you into your mission and what you're supposed to be doing in this lifetime. And I feel like for a lot of you Aquariuses, there is some type of ending happening here that is very tightly connecting with a new beginning. And as we all know, new beginnings can only start when something ends. And so this eclipse could be very well something that indicates an ending of some sort in your 9th house matters, and this way a new initiation, a new beginning that could feel a bit emotional in nature. And that is because the ruler of the eclipse, Venus, is involved in a beautiful, big, grand water trine with Mars and Saturn. And having this many planets in water signs can indicate that there are some things that could feel a bit emotional. However, they could be more on the constructive side than the destructive side. And you may be like, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to feel so emotional about 9th house matters, but there could be places that you may be going to, individuals that you may be meeting that ignite something in you at the emotional level. They remind you of something, they remind you of certain memories, or they simply feel very peaceful for your heart, for your mind with this eclipse. For some of you Aquariuses, you may even meet somebody that could be a romantic partner that comes from a foreign culture, speaks a different language, to where your language is their secondary one. So they come from a different culture. And this eclipse, can bring some faded connection here, can bring somebody from a past life that maybe you had some type of soul contract with. Now, as I mentioned, Venus is involved in this beautiful grand trine with Saturn in the sign of Pisces at 14 degrees and Mars in the sign of Cancer at 15 degrees. I feel like we're going to be constructive about this new beginning, Aquariuses. We're going maybe to be mature about it, take practical steps in whatever we decide to do with the 9th house matters specifically for you. For some of you, again, you may meet somebody that is more on the romantic side, that you feel very calm around, or it could be like a mentor, as I said, like a guru, somebody that advises you. But again, that makes you feel very soothed, and you may as well make practical steps to approach to this person, be very down to earth, very calm, and be constructive when it comes to building some type of emotional connection with them. I've made a specific video for the Mars Saturn trine aspect, so please make sure to take a look at that one also. I feel like that's a very important energy that could bring constructive actions from all of us, depending on the area of our charts that we have Cancer and Pisces in. But this energy is definitely going to feel during the eclipse, as these planets are involved in a grand trine. I also want to remind you, Aquarius, is that we still have Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune involved in that mini grand trine, which is, I believe, giving us that support that we need to have this kind of ending and initiation into our lives. I feel like we're receiving support from the giants of the sky, and these are, generational planets. They move slower, and so I feel like there is a big ending happening here with these planets in these signs. And as we move towards 2025 and especially 2026, we're going to have brand new beginnings that are going to make us unrecognizable. But I feel like these planets are really helping us have certain endings to be able to start some important new beginnings. And for you, Aquarius, is in the 9th house. Now, the 9th house where the eclipse is happening is also the house of foreign languages. For some of you, Aquarius, you may feel inspired to dive deep into a foreign language, learn it more, and also be able to converse in it, to learn the grammar, do all these things, because you need to resolve some kind of karmic issue or some type of karmic situation that you can only do so in a foreign language, or it may feel easier to do so in a foreign language. The 9th house is also the house of visas, the house of passports and citizenship, permanent residence cards, things like that. So for some of you, Aquarius, you may have some type of completion associated with these things, or some type of initiation to where you start a new application because for some reason you need to be in this place because of past life situations and things that your soul really wanted to develop in. Maybe your soul wanted to be in a certain place, and so in this lifetime you're supposed to complete all this paperwork to move to a new place, to get this visa or this citizenship, and go somewhere else. This can also indicate interviews with officers and individuals that are responsible for legal international visiting or international travels, relocation, that's the right word, international relocation. So maybe for some of you, you're finally getting your citizenship or your green card or any permanent resident card that you have in the country that you're in. So you could have some type of breakthrough in there, some kind of changes and initiation. So this is what I have for this eclipse, Aquarius. I really hope you get the best out of it. I really hope that you meet some wonderful people that might change your life, that might give you that right advice that you need. And that you also receive some kind of reward. I also do want to mention that the 9th house in ancient astrology is the house of good deeds, good karmic deeds. So for some of you, Aquarius, you may really just receive rewards associated with good things that you've done in your past lifetimes, good things that you have done in the past in this lifetime, and it's kind of being paid forward to you in one way or another. So you may receive some beautiful things, some beautiful rewards from the divine, from God, from the universe. And let's not forget that the eclipse is also happening in fellow air signs. So it isn't a good aspect to you, to your physical body, to your individuality, to your personality. So I feel like, some good things could be happening, could be brought into your life, Aquarius, with this eclipse. Now, I do want to say that eclipses are very, very intense. I don't want to sugarcoat the intensity that comes with the eclipse. And the thing about them is that they can remove or add things from our lives in a very fast and quick way, which I think is great because, as I've said to the other signs, I'd rather have something quickly added or removed into my life with an eclipse than spend, years and months into something that is not going to be worth it in the long run. So that's what eclipses are for. They're there to really realign us very quickly into our life path. And so don't be afraid of them. Just embrace it. And as I said, they are intense. They're still intense, even though it's happening in a good house for you, Aquarius, but they're necessary. This is what I have for you, Aquarius, and as always with the other videos, if you liked and resonated with this one, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello, dear Pisces, Pisces suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your eclipse in Libra astrology predictions. Pisces, the eclipse is happening on October 2nd at 2:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to adjust it to your time zone. But for you, Pisces, it is happening in your 8th house. And the 8th house is associated with shared resources and finances that some of you Pisces have maybe with a partner or with a family member. This eclipse could indicate a new beginning associated with these shared resources that is also tied to some type of ending. So for some of you, you may be putting less money in your shared resources that you have with somebody else, and this way you're ending that stream of income coming to your shared resources and starting a new beginning to where there is less money available for all of you. And the opposite can also happen too, where you stop putting money aside in some other investment. You stop putting money even like maybe in a different bank account, and you decide to put all your resources in your shared bank accounts that you have with somebody else or a family member. And so there's some type of ending but also initiation when it comes to your shared resources and finances that you have with somebody else. Now, this could also indicate to where the other individual that you have shared resources with does this thing and not you. And it can also, again, indicate changes, though, from both sides, from you and the other person when it comes to your shared resources and finances. The 8th house is also the house of investments and the way how we manage other people's resources, or the way how we make money out of other people's resources. So for some of you Pisces, this can indicate reaping the rewards when it comes to some type of investment that you've had in place, or it could indicate deciding to sell something so that you can reap the rewards when it comes to some type of financial financial investment that you had in place. The 8th house is also the house of psychology and traumas and fears and self-sabotaging patterns. So for some of you Pisces, you may decide to move away from these things and kind of help yourself heal from traumas that do not serve you anymore. So you may be doing the work in removing these things, or it could indicate maybe starting to feel fearful about some fated event, some fated situation that has happened into your life with this eclipse. So I do want to say that eclipses can go both ways, to where they add or remove something from our lives, and that's why I'm counting both possibilities, that something could be removed or something could be added to your life with this eclipse. The 8th house can also indicate something that happens in the life of your partner or a family member that you have shared resources with. They could have some breakthrough in their lives that or their career, their finances, their job, that also affects you somehow in your 8th house matters. It affects your shared resources and shared finances. The 8th house is also the house of insurances, taxes, If you are in any of these industries, with dealing with other people's finances, maybe a consultant, an advisor, a psychologist, then there could be breakthroughs and changes in your industry, at your work. Maybe an authority figure comes in or goes away. Maybe you have more clients added to your list, and you open up yourself to a pool of new people, new clients that can become profitable for you. Or it could indicate that you start to move away from a group of clients that you think you don't align with as well anymore, so they're kind of either removed from your life or you decide to do so yourself. Now, these changes that are associated with your 8th house could be a bit emotional in nature. I do want to say that, especially because it's happening in the 8th house. But another reason for that is because the ruler of the eclipse, Venus, is involved in a grand water trine, which is, a good thing, with Saturn in your 1st house, in the sign of Pisces at 14 degrees, and with Mars at 15 degrees in your 5th house. Venus in itself is sitting in the 9th house at 11 degrees. So this could indicate that these breakthroughs and changes could be a bit emotional. For some of you Pisces, you may be even releasing emotional traumas associated with your past, associated with your self-sabotaging patterns, with fears that you've had before. You may be really working in the subconscious level, and it might be that it's not you who are doing these things. It's just that things are happening into your life to where you decide or understand that you need to release something that does not really serve you anymore. And Venus in the 9th house can bring that strength that you need to be able to realign yourself with the higher powers, to realign yourself with the universe, with the divine, with God, with things that you believe in. And most of the times you Pisces are big believers into something greater than all of us. So this connection between the 8th and the 9th house, where the ruler is sitting on, can indicate a need to release something that is heavy in the subconscious level, and doing so maybe even through prayer, spirituality, and through following spiritual routines and practices. Now, Saturn in the 1st house is really wanting you Pisces to build boundaries with other people, to construct and reconstruct your personality so that other people are more respectful towards you and you're not always the one sacrificing for everybody. And so this eclipse could help you heal from those experiences when it comes to your personality, your individuality, the boundaries that you have towards other people, so that they can see you as somebody that needs to be respected, somebody that has a strong personality, that is strong, that is knowledgeable. So this eclipse could really trigger a few things to help you rebuild your character and who you are as a person. Mars in the 5th house is having a lot of you Pisces reassess your personality, reassess your creativity, your hobbies. So you might as well decide to have certain darker things removed from your subconscious level so that you can embrace life again and become more joyful, start something new, create something new. Mars in the 5th house wants you to have these new projects, or at least create something new for your life. The 5th house is the house of the joy of life, and Mars spending here a lot of time until it's going to go retrograde in the sign of Cancer, and it's going to stay here for a while, I think until April of next year. And so it's going to build and rebuild the way how you approach life and how you decide to be joyful about it. So I feel like this eclipse is triggering an ending of old wounds and a new beginning in the way how you want to approach your shadow side and your life in general. Now, like I said, eclipses are intense in nature, and this could be something that feels very deep for you Pisces. But as I said to the other signs, eclipses are there to really realign us very quickly, very fast into our real life path, and I'd rather have something that is not serving me anymore completely removed from my life in a very fast way than having to spend years or months into something that is not going to serve me in the long run. And that's what eclipses do. They realign us very quickly into something new. And they are intense and unpredictable in nature, so that's the difficulty that comes with it, but they are necessary so that we can be realigned into what we're supposed to be doing in this lifetime. So I feel like this is going to be a period where you release things that don't serve you anymore. You may have transformation, a lot of transformation with this eclipse at the subconscious level. And for others of you, it can also be at the physical level with Saturn in the first house, wanting to take on different approaches when it comes to taking care of your physical body, and the 8th house is the house of transformation. So you may be, receiving some kind of transformation, or at least starting something new that helps you take care of your physical body in a more mature way, in a more responsible way. I think this is what could happen for some of you Pisces. But please let me know down in the comments how things are going into your life. You already know I always read all the comments. And if you liked and resonated with this video as with all the other ones, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe.